Well, we're here in Jabal Saiba in a greener than normal southern Saudi Arabia, and I'm actually sitting directly on what we call Gossan, and this is oxidized sulfide rock. So below this somewhere is the hopefully copper ore that we're looking for, that we'll be drilling for. Okay, so first question, when do we start drilling? Always a question on the tip of everybody's tongue. First drilling this year will be in Morocco at Alawana. We submitted a full suite of permits a week before last or so, and we expect to get the permits out in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and with a bit of luck, that means we'll be drilling. We're estimating sort of end of June, early July, bearing in mind, importantly, that we have to send our results to Spain because there aren't, at this current point in time, any certified laboratories in Morocco, meaning that there's probably about a 2 to 3 month waiting time for assay results. In terms of news flow, obviously the most material news that we'll be publishing so far, as we know of so far this year, will be the drilling from Alawana. And so fingers crossed there. As I've mentioned, drill holes are located and permissions are in process. Other things that we're doing this year is obviously prepping Saiba here for drilling as the year goes on. And with a bit of luck, fingers crossed, we may even be drilling this by the end of the year. I suppose a point worth emphasising is when I say fingers crossed, it means on us having a very clearly defined target, before we bring the rigs in, as opposed to any limitations we might be facing. We don't anticipate too much of a problem with permitting and etc. here in Saudi Arabia. So drilling here sort of later in the year. In the meantime, we are submitting further license applications here in Saudi Arabia. We are participating in an upcoming tender round for an asset here, also here in Saudi Arabia, and we have spent the last few weeks. In fact, we did recently more than 4,000 kilometres through Morocco, looking at acquisition opportunities, potential deals, and also potential greenfields targets, and that was very positive. So hopefully there'll be some news coming out of Morocco before, as well as the drilling results out of Alawana. Challenges, a lot as usual, but I suppose apart from the normal challenges that face us in the exploration industry, finding ore deposits, I guess some of the key things that we're tackling at the moment is human resources. Many of you will be aware that there is a real sparsity of skilled technicians in our sector. So that's exploration geologists, geophysicists, the whole gamut of earth science skills. So we do find it difficult to find people sometimes. Some of the things that you might perceive as challenges that are not, so being able to secure drill rigs, that's really not an issue, both in Morocco and also here in Saudi Arabia, plenty of contractors. Turnaround times from laboratories, that has been an issue for, maybe the last 5 years, and it continues to be so. I don't, for the life of me, know why the business development people for some of these major laboratories can't see further than their noses, because there's a lot of business here, and also a lot of business particularly in Morocco. They're the key challenges. I suppose, as an overarching issue, obviously it's financing exploration. That seems to have fallen out of favour for all sorts of reasons, which I don't really feel like going into, sitting on the middle of the hot desert in Saudi Arabia, cooking my brain. But yeah, I think appealing to an audience that understands the value of exploration is always a challenge, and we are working on that, on our messaging and and our modes of communication.